Hi, hello, I'm Halen, and I have a very special video for you today because the lovely people over at Arrtx have sent me some paint markers to try out for you guys. My first impression when I received the package was how cute the packaging of the box is. I have some Arrtx alcohol marker sets that were made in collaboration with a couple artists that I bought a few years ago, and I just have to say Arrtx has always slayed with how cute their packaging is. Like, not only is it functional, but it's so cute. I feel like I could display these as like a cute little piece in my room, and it would fit in with everything around it. As you can see, the markers actually did not come labeled. It comes with the sheet that matches the order that the markers are in the box. So it's in the correct order, but you have to go in and label the markers with the stickers that they give you yourself, which was honestly a pretty tedious task. So I went ahead and did a time lapse of it. That way it was sped up because it took me quite a while to do. When I was first reached out to by Arrtx, I was allowed to pick between two different sets of markers, and I went with set B, which was the anime color set, just because it sounded more appealing to me, just from the name alone. And I am so glad that I chose that one. The colors in this set are so pretty. They're like this wonderful mix of pastel and really bright saturated colors, which I think fits perfectly with my art style, and they were so much fun to use. This set comes with 60 different acrylic paint markers that have a wide range of colors. It has lots of yellows, pinks, and greens, and it does lack a little bit when it comes to the blues, and I'd personally prefer more blues than all the greens that they give me, but in all honesty, it hasn't been that much of an issue, and I'd say overall that this set of markers is a pretty solid color choice. Now let's get drawing with these bad boys. I've been rewatching a lot of My Hero Academia with my boyfriend recently, and I really wanted to make some fan art of my favorite character, Toga. Her vibes are immaculate, and I thought that a drawing of an anime character with the anime color set would be fitting. It might be hard to see because my lighting situation is not the best, but I started off with Toga's skin. I actually sketched this drawing out digitally a bit before the markers arrived because I was so excited to try them out. Acrylic paint markers are actually pretty trendy right now, and I keep seeing ads for them all over my TikTok feed, and I really hate to admit it, but I'm not immune to advertising or propaganda, and I actually did buy some of the shuttle art paint markers that I kept getting shown, and let me tell you, the Arrtx ones are so much better. I'm not being sponsored or anything, but I wanted to mention it in case you guys were interested in purchasing some acrylic paint markers. Avoid shuttle art and sprint to Arrtx. The shuttle art ones fell apart in my hand the moment I used them, and some were completely dried out, and it felt like there was no paint inside of the pen. Both Arrtx and shuttle markers have brush tips, so if that's what you're interested in, I'd highly recommend Arrtx over shuttle art. These markers were so much fun to play around with, and since drawing this piece, I've been using them almost daily, which I think says a lot because usually I just stick to my alcohol markers, which you know that if you've seen any of my other videos. I think there was definitely a learning curve when it came to using these. The blending on the sweater especially gave me trouble. I mentioned how my other brand of markers I have came with tons of dried up markers, and unfortunately, while 99% of the Arrtx markers were juicy, this one specific marker that I chose for her sweater color was not. It was like pretty dried up, and you can see that in the drawing as there's like this super thin wash of color over the darker brown I used for the shading on her sweater. I ended up working around it, and I'm happy with the finished piece, but it was pretty unfortunate. Other than that, though, you can see the amount of coverage I'm getting with all the other paint markers. They do such a good job painting on top of each other, especially, like, I can put a light color on top of a dark color, and you can't see the dark color underneath it. It's pretty cool. When I was deciding the composition of this piece, I wanted to stay in my comfort zone of cute girl in white void with big colored circle behind her because I knew I was going to be learning a new medium already by using these markers, and I didn't want to push myself too much and end up unhappy with the final product. But I did choose a fun pose, so instead of just like a 3/4 angle looking to the left like I'm used to, I have her doing this super fun girly pose that's contrasted by her drinking blood out of a syringe. If you don't know about my hero or Toga as a character, she's a villain whose superpower is that she can shapeshift into any person she drinks the blood of. It's a pretty cool and creepy power, and I just love how it contrasts with her design since she's this super girly schoolgirl in a skirt, which isn't someone that you'd normally be afraid of. For the background, I did the solid color thing I mentioned before, but I wanted to make it pop some more, so I tried to make it look almost like a blood puddle. I have these little hearts shooting off of it and heart-shaped blood drops bouncing off her tongue as well, since when Toga thinks someone is cute, she wants to drink their blood and become them. Her character is so interesting to me as someone who loves creepy cute things. I decided near the end of the piece to add some line art. I wasn't originally going to, but I do think that it really helped the artwork stand out off of the page more than it did without it. I used purples and pinks, then went back with the colors of the object that the line art was surrounding to thin the line art out, almost like erasing the lines to make them thinner in a way. I've mentioned I've been using these markers a lot recently, so I wanted to talk to you about how they held up. I know everyone always gets excited when they get new art supplies and enters a sort of honeymoon stage with them, whether or not they're actually good. At least I know that I'm guilty of that. But after spending some time with these, I can vouch for their quality. Considering the fact I did get them for free to try out a video, I do want to take into account the price of the markers. For this set, it's around 50 USD, which is a good chunk of money, and I do think that if you're interested in paint markers, then starting off with the smaller set and then deciding whether or not you like them is a good idea, as 60 colors is a lot of markers to have, and 50 bucks is a lot to spend if you end up not enjoying the product. Overall, I'd say though, if you do know that you like acrylic markers or working with acrylic in general and want to transfer over to this medium, then 83 cents a marker isn't bad at all. And if I had these taken away from me now and had to decide whether or not I'd pay for them on my own, I'd say I'd probably save up and get them again. As we finished the drawing up, I wanted to go ahead and say that I did go and add a bunch of stickers to the finished page because I can't help myself. I'm a literal stationery addict, so whenever I show the finished drawing and you see all those little embellishes and sparkles, that's what it is. And here's the finished piece. This was so much fun to work on, and thank you to Arrtx for sending me these awesome markers to try out. I actually have been using them to make keychains recently with Shrinky Dinks, so I wanted to share those with you too. These little keychains have been so much fun for me to make, and it just proved to me that the markers can also be used on different surfaces because the Shrinky Dink paper is more like a plastic textured kind of material, while paper is, paper. If you're interested in buying some of these markers for yourself, I've included some links in the description that take you to storefronts that are selling them. And that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a wonderful time using these markers, so thank you again to Arrtx for sending them to me to try out. I hope to see you guys again soon, and I hope you have a nice day. Bye!